like many of you see me across the country, I'm excited to get my travel schedule up and running. I have my fabulous programs team online this evening slash afternoon or night, depending on what part of the country you are in today. And we are so thrilled to kick off the fall. It feels like summer here in the Bay Area. If you are in the Bay Area or in California, we are sweating up a storm. And so we've got some amazing resources to share with you. For those of you who haven't met Eileen Zong, she's our California program manager. She's going to be up here in the Bay working with our schools from Santa Cruz all the way to Sacramento. We have the fabulous Lizzie Robbins, who's in Houston, but working with all of our colleges across the lovely state of Texas. And she'll get some additional support from our San Antonio fellow this year, because I see that there's a St. Mary's chapter folks on. And then our lovely Whitney Thomas, who many of you worked with in our college programming and our high school programming prior, is our alumni network manager. So I can't wait for you all to meet them and to continue doing amazing work that we're doing together. And so to kick off our webinar this afternoon, we're going to talk a little bit about goals for the year, tips to kick off the academic year. We'll talk about the lovely program enrollment forms and incentives. And we'll talk a little bit around boards and commissions, and then have so many tools to share with you around social media, because that is just where we need to be these days. And then we're going to carve out some time at the end to take some questions and answers. Well, we'll have answers. You'll have questions, or we might have questions. So we're really excited because we have a couple very large, lofty goals in the Ignite organization. This is we are working to get 150 young women from Ignite to apply and get appointed to serve on a public board or commission. And so I know some of you are already on this path, and we're really excited to really widen this. As we all know in Ignite, that serving on these public boards and commissions is the next step in running for office on your campuses. Or not in your campuses, but in your own communities. The second thing is right, because I saw campuses. So the next goal is that 500 Ignite young women between our high school and college programming are going to run for office on their college campuses. 25 Ignite young women will have announced their candidacy for running for office. And so I know many of you are starting to think about 2018, if not sooner. And so our goal is to support 25 to actually help in announcing. And then 500 of you will have worked, interned, or volunteered on a campaign or in the office of an elected official. And then 100 young women are going to organize around an issue in their community. And hopefully these are just, our low numbers, and we're just going to blow them out of the water this year. And so we're really excited for these and wanted to share them with all of you to work together to achieve these larger goals. Okay. And so our fabulous Whitney created the tips to kick off the year. So the first one is, obviously, if you do not have your chapter leadership on point already, you're going to want to start to think about electing and appointing the fabulous committed leaders in your group to these leadership positions. For those of you who haven't read our Ignite toolkit yet, we have a couple different leadership positions there that you can consider for your group that will, help in functioning the leadership and the needs of your particular chapter. And really think about within your chapter what's going to be the best communication method that you all want to use. And so here at Ignite, we use everything on Google. We use everything from Google Hangouts to Google Chat. Some people, I don't like the group me, but everybody else uses the group me. And text, I'm a part of many group text messages. But just, basically the other piece around that is define and create what the best communication lines are going to be like for your group and just use them. And then our second tip is develop your chapter calendar. I think the best thing that I've seen from our college chapters is that folks have really been able to schedule out once when they're meeting, when their leadership teams are meeting, and then when your college council dates are, and then also what different special events are going to happen across a quarter. And so some folks are planning for the entire year. Some folks are planning just for a quarter, for a semester. So think about that with your team as you figure that out. And then you are all ambassadors of Ignite. So you are recruiting at every single opportunity that you have. I was talking to one of our fellows earlier last week, and she was like, I was just standing in line to get lunch, and I started to talk about Ignite. And I am best known for flying on airplanes and collecting business cards before I offboard. So really think about that. Each of you have these leadership roles and are ambassadors of our organization. And so really be able to thank you, Vanalee, and please share as much communication as you want in that chat box. Um, and then the next thing is develop strong partnerships with campus orgs to really support each other. We all know that it takes a village to do the 90 million things we want to accomplish in the world. And I know many of you are already partnering with different orgs to be able to do your voter registration drives, to be able to I remember a lot of you did the debate watching parties in coordination with other groups last year. And so there's lots of opportunity to be able to do that. Ooh, thank you, Emily. I've never heard of Trello, but that sounds like a type A thing that I would really enjoy. So I'm excited to see that. And then the last thing is explore our resources. We're so excited to share them with you today, and really communicate regularly with all of us here at the Ignite team. Many of you have your particular fellow, your particular program manager that you will have a deeper connection with. But Whitney and I are also still here, existing in the world for you to get some support with as well. And I love to hear your stories, and I can't wait to visit all of you. Did Eileen and Lizzie, anything else we want to add to the tips? Awesome. Okay. So my favorite program enrollment form. So my big question is, how do we tell everyone about the impact of Ignite? One is our stories. Two is the numbers. So how many people are working or are participating in our programming? So this year we have a super cool, super simple form that is program enrollment. We will all send you the link to it, but I wanted to just preface it with that it is the new form that we're going to use to basically like do your intake at the beginning of the year. It will just tell us who you are, what school you go to, and the best way to communicate with you. And as you are all chapter leaders, you are all tasked with helping us get this information back to Ignite, and we're going to incentivize some of this. Because this year, our large goal too that I didn't even share with all of you is that we are trying to um, work with 5,000 young women across the country through our new expansion models. And so we want to be able to collect as much information of all of the young women we're working with. And so we're going to do some individual incentives. So, everyone has an opportunity to win something. And we're going to do a raffle for $20 gift cards of your choice, whatever I can buy. I'm happy to buy you a $20 version of it. And then for all of you for chapters, if you can get 10 members to fill out the enrollment form, we will grant you with a lovely $35 gift card for your chapter. You can use it to buy food, you can use it for supplies, whatever you want, for BART tickets, Metro cards, whatever you need it for. And then if you can register 25 members, you'll get a $50 card, and then we'll also order you one of those fabulous Ignite signs that you can use for tabling. 40 plus members, you'll get a $75 gift card and one of the fabulous Ignite. And so please, 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 please help us in getting those enrollment forms in. I know that Emily's online and she's been working it. I'm not sure where we all went. Thank you, Lizzie. I lost all of you for a quick second. Can you all hear me? You're good? Okay, awesome. Okay. Anyway, those are the incentive pieces. Sorry, everybody. We have been going so well with technology today, and then this is the moment it decides to not be so fun. Um, and so, like always, we just keep carrying on and figure out our next solution. So these are our incentives for the enrollment. We're really excited to help you get them in and one to know where we're serving young women this year. Please feel free to ask questions or suggestions for other pieces, but I can't emphasize enough how much we need to know who we're serving this year. So, to pass it on, I will hand it over to the fabulous Eileen.
Hey. Can you hear me? For some reason, I am having issues with the clicking. Sarah, could you click next slide for me? Thank you. Hi, everyone. Sorry for that. I'm so excited that we will be able to dive a little bit deeper into the boards and commissions goals that we have. So as we mentioned earlier, we have a goal to have a minimum of 150 Ignite young women to be appointed to the boards and commissions to further equip you and your chapter with the skills and leadership experience to run for political office. We will be incorporating a lot of these different steps throughout the year and also at the college council meetings. So let's start with the basics. What are boards and commissions? Boards and commissions are city, county, and state level leadership where community members have the opportunity to play a vital role in providing feedback to the local and statewide government. So why is this important? Because your voice is invaluable and your community needs to hear from you. This will also further equip you and your chapter, again, to run for political office in the future. Your leadership is very critical in communicating and incorporating the importance of applying to boards and commissions seats at your chapter meetings and in order to meet the goals. So, for example, if you see a member who you think would be great for a certain position, you should definitely encourage them or, egg them on to apply. And now we can get into the application process. So it's fairly simple, and but we do have a step-by-step process that we can share with you all later. Um, so uh, you start by basically looking at the city, county, or state positions vacancies. So it's very simple Google. And we also have like a tracking sheet that we have that we can all share with you where we have listed some of the vacancies that are available. So after that, you identify which seat that you're interested in and you do a little research, read through some of their minutes or attend a meeting, and make sure your resume is up to date before you begin the application process. And we will also be hosting some workshops throughout the year to help you with that if you don't already have one that's up to date. Um, we so to start the application process, it's fairly short, and they usually only generally ask about 2 to 3 questions. For example, like why are you interested in that particular position? So if you get through that whole process, they'll invite you in for an interview, and if you get through that, they'll hold a vote, and once you're appointed, We would love if you could share the great news with Ignite and we can all celebrate. Um, so the tracking interested members might be a little bit tricky, but if it's ingrained in the fabric of your chapter meetings, you can take the time out at the end of every meeting to ask which members have applied. And we also have like a tracking sheet that we'll be sharing with you. So I'm super excited to see where this takes us and how many of you will be appointed. Um, Super excited. And next slide, please. So now let's move on to social media. Um, as an overview, we'll be discussing nonpartisanship, how to engage and promote on social media, Ignite branding, setting up college accounts, and also posting guidelines, tips, and templates. So as a reminder, Ignite is a nonpartisan nonprofit that operates in the political realm. So listed out, we have values and principles that really guide our work that are listed on this slide. But what does all this mean, right? This means that Ignite supports um, the engagement in the political process, but do not take positions on individual issues, but rather support young women to determine which issues are most important to them. Next slide. Follow, engage, and promote. So you can follow Ignite through the various platforms that are listed out here. So we have Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, and even Snapchat. So these various platforms, you can follow us to be kept up to date to what's going on and be connected with some great articles, resources, and amazing people like us. So share your content with Ignite National. Here are a couple of ways to get your chapter posts in our radar. So one, you can tag Ignite National in any of your posts. Share your posts on post or a link to your post with Ignite via direct message, or you can email us directly through this email address. This way we can showcase your members, and also you can share any of our content that you think would work with your chapter. Ignite branding. So what makes up a brand? So a brand is the perceived emotional corporate image. So our Ignite logo. The identity is visual aspects that form part of the overall brand, and the logo identifies a business in its simplest form via the use of a marker icon. But why is all this important? It really increases the visibility and recognition, which will in turn help Ignite build a higher following, and it's more consistent and will build a bigger membership base. So here are some of the font guidelines, and sorry if I butcher any of these font names, but Trebuchet, that is a font that we use for headlines, titles, or the body of a text. Calibri, which we use fairly often. We also use it for headlines and titles, but the last font, did dot, we primarily only use for the body of the text. And you can download any of these fonts for free on the webpage listed on this slide. Ignite also has colors that we used. Again, this is all to be aligned with our branding and our messaging. So these are very specific colors. So we have them marked in RGB, CMYK, and hex codes. And it's just really a way to ensure that Ignite's identity is all reflected in any of the materials that we have. whether it's on social media or internal documents that we give to any meetings that we have.
And before Eileen continues, I just want to make sure too that folks start to use this. As you, we're going to share some templates with you, but I know some of you like to design your fabulous flyers too. So if you could just start to utilize these numbers, and this is all going to be available for you both as PowerPoint and also in this webinar format so that you can go back to, so you don't need to hurry and write them down. I imagine all of you are doing that probably right now. But these are the colors that we'll need you to update. So it's a very specific pink and a very specific orange. And I'm sure you didn't know that there was a yellowish version too, but to help you with different colors. Sorry, Eileen, go ahead.
All right, and branding guidelines. So, I mean, I think this is something I used to struggle with as well. So just make sure that the logo that you have and the logo that you're using on any of your social media pages or any documents that you're creating, that the logo is crisp and it's not aligned incorrectly and it's not slanted, or um, when you expand the logo, it's not, shifted weird or like too wide. We will provide you with the high quality logos so that you're going to be able to place them on any flyers that you have or any social media outreach that you might have as well. I think that's it for me. Um, and now Lizzie will take the reins.
I can't hear Lizzie.
I can't either.
Let me make sure.
There you go.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, good. Hi, everybody. It's good to have y'all here. I'm going to talk about setting up your chapter accounts. Okay. So good communication using your social media is really important. It's always quality over quantity. Sometimes if you post a lot, people will stop following you. So you want to make sure when you post that it's things people are going to be interested in. Only create channels you know you can maintain. And you want to update them at least once a week and be able to reply within 48 hours. It means a lot to folks if you just reply back to their comment or thank them for visiting the page. So you want to put some plans in place, whether that's a specific person in your chapter who is maintaining these things and keeping up with them. And at a minimum, you should have a presence on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Okay. So setting up Facebook, I know many of you have these. You should call your chapter Ignite at your school. So Ignite at UC Davis or Ignite at UT Austin so that it's uniform across the chapters. And what should you include on the About page? Can I go to this link? Am I able to click it?
No, because I PDF'd it.
Oh, okay.
You want me to pull it up? I'll pull it up while you talk.
Perfect. Thank you, Sarah. So you should use specific language. You need to include Ignite's mission statement and our statement of nonpartisanship. And you can see the statement that you can use down at the bottom. And we will share these materials with you so you have access to them. And those are, of course, just really important to be very clear about what your chapter is about and not have any ambiguity about our nonpartisan status. So while Sarah is...
I can't screen share it because I'm too afraid I'm going to mess something up. but I shared the link in the chat box so everyone can
Oh,
click on it.
perfect. So if y'all want to just click and check it out real fast, I'm looking at it now. Nice graphic. And if you look at their About section, they have the mission, Ignite builds political ambition in young women in their own communities. And it gives some more information about being able to attend larger events in California in their state in that case. So great example of a Facebook page. All right. So image guidelines. The Ignite logo must appear on your chapter's page in the profile photo and cover photo. And your profile image must include your school logo or name or copy that indicates the page is a chapter of Ignite National. So it's really important that people know you are part of a broader network and affiliated with us.
And our director of communications, Kirsten, is making you all your own version of this little square to make as your profile picture. So hold on tight. But she's working on those for you. And so if you are listed as one of our college chapters, and I know you exist, just hold on tight. But you're gonna get one of those profile pictures that you can update. That looks just like this one.
Great. So setting up your Twitter, you should be Ignite at your school. Again, that's uniform across the board. So there's an example right there, at Ignite UNT. And you want to lead with Ignite, not the school name when possible. It's helpful to have everything kind of linked back to our national Twitter, at Ignite National. So you can see an example right there, at Ignite National, and then your chapter. So that's a great way just for people to realize that you are connected to Ignite, and makes it very clear. Okay. So these are the Twitter image guidelines. Again, the Ignite logo must appear, this got moved over, in your chapter's profile image and header cover photo. It's got to include your name, your school name and logo. That indicates, again, you are affiliated with Ignite National. All right. Setting up Instagram. Again, at Ignite at your school. And then your Instagram bio, there's copy for that down at the bottom of how that should look. And again, setting up your Instagram, it's the same thing across the board. And these visuals are really, really helpful for you to see how it should look. But once you set up one, it's really easy to uniformly make them all proper. Okay. Posting guidelines. This is very important. Always important to keep it nonpartisan. Obviously, we all have our own political beliefs, but when you are posting as Ignite, as your Ignite chapter, it's so important to be nonpartisan. Photos are great. That's what people want to see. If you post a block of text, folks may or may not read it, but especially if it's a picture of your women meeting or doing something or meeting with an elected, people are more likely to be interested. It's important with social media that you're not just posting about your program, your chapter. So it's great to post articles or put other information out there that people might want to read, because then they'll come to your page for information. But be very careful to read articles before posting them and read them carefully. Give credit where credit is due. That's very, very important. Check the sources of any articles that you post. Don't be fake news. Nobody likes that. Be authentic. You don't have to be anything that you're not. You're already doing great things on your campus. So talk about them, share information, encourage other women to be involved. Edit. Installing the Grammarly app is really helpful. If you are posting in a way that shows you are professional and serious about this work, people will take you seriously. Planning ahead, create an editorial calendar so that you know when you're encouraged to post things. Think about how you want to post before and after events. If you have a plan, not just of your events for the year, but of the posting that goes along with that, you will be much more successful and prepared. Always tag Ignite National in photos so we can see what you're doing, so we can like it, so we can share it. Again, keep it nonpartisan. If you didn't already get that, that's so important. Okay, and I have a few templates to show you. These are really great. So you can use these and switch out your information. This is an info session. It's coming to the University of Washington. So it's fun. It's very clear. It has the information and the RSVP clearly, put in. And it has a nice look, so something people will want to check out. A few more. This one is also lovely. Very nice, and it has the mission on the side, the Ignite logo, the school logo. This one's great. When you're hosting a guest speaker and elected, highlighting them and putting their picture out will get you attendees. Okay, so that is all for social media.
Awesome. Thank you, Lizzie. Thank you, Eileen. Ladies, on our webinar, we're going to take questions now for any pieces for kicking off the school year or any questions around the social media. Fire away. And while people start to think about their questions, the other thing I wanted to go back to about the program enrollment forms is this year we also attached the photo release. If you see here, you can actually click on one of these pieces or one of the drop downs here later to sign off on the photo release. And so we're going to presume that all the photos that are either on your social media or that you send to us to utilize are all cleared through the particular, have all been cleared through the release form. Just wanted to make sure we reiterated that. Yes, Kristen, we're totally going to. The fabulous thing is when you all get to your college council meetings in the next couple weeks, our programs team has prepared an entire Google Drive of all of these PowerPoints for you to have. But we're also recording this webinar, and then we'll share these slides with you too, so you can get it ready. Yeah. So at Spelman, we have a young Democrat, but not a young Republican. If we collaborate, that looks party associated. What should I do? Should I still collaborate and still push Ignite as a nonpartisan? Lizzie or Eileen, would you like to weigh in on that question?
I think that's a really good question. And I think that if there is not a young Republicans, it would be okay to reach out to young Democrats. But I would also really, I'm sure there are some Republicans on campus, maybe reach out to some folks that and, going to different organizations besides Young Democrats, obviously, ones that are or aren't involved in politics, to show folks that you really are interested in recruiting from, a wide range of voices.
Eileen, any thoughts on that question?
I mean, I think I agree with Lizzie, and that just sounds like a good way to approach that issue.
Yeah, I think too, Ignite is always going to be nonpartisan. I think that really defines what kind of space you're going to create on your particular campus. And I think that just goes back to you. So I think inviting whoever you want to invite to your particular space, but just being cognizant that we'll still need to create a space that welcomes everybody. Okay, next question. Will this information be available at the website? This webinar will be available via the website, but our tools are going to be available in a different way. But this particular PowerPoint we'll make sure to send out to folks so that you have it before your first college council meeting. Okay. So tell me if I miss, is the next question from Noelia where it says, are there specific guidelines we should follow for meeting?
Yeah.
So, oh, I'm gonna make the chat box a little bit bigger so I can see more. Um, so the the specific guidelines for the meetings. Tell me more about that, Noelia. Are you thinking in terms of a social media push or particular content for your meetings? And as you think about that a little bit more, we'll circle back. Emily's asking, is there a template for Ignite letterhead? Yes, we'll also send that to you all. And can someone make a note that we'll need to put that into the college resource folder?
Got it.
By Cheryl. Okay. So Angelica, say hi. Emma and I are from the University of Houston. That's my bad on making cute flyers. They are very cute, Angelica or Angelica. Is it Angelica? Lizzie or
Angelica.
Angelica. Will this information be sent out, including the colors and logos and so on? Yes, definitely. And your flyers are very cute. I definitely appreciate them. Now though my comms team has a different point of view sometimes, but we all appreciate them. Emily, when will the tools be made available? So we're going to do some slow rolling out. These pieces I will send to all of you in terms of this PowerPoint right after this meeting so you can have that. In terms of, so the college toolkit is obviously all available to you. In terms of the other resources, those are going to be made available in the next 2 weeks. Do we need to delete flyers that we have posted that don't not follow all of the colors and fonts? No, that's totally okay. I don't want you to delete your entire social media. We're just trying to move forward from where we are. And as you all can imagine, last year we were on 50 college campuses. This year our goal is to be on 85. We are making history. You are totally right, Molly. And I think we'll even blow our goal of being on 85 schools this year. So we're just trying to help everybody get all sorts of these different pieces started. Did I miss any questions? Do folks have any other questions or any other thoughts in terms of getting your college chapter off the ground? I suppose there are certain things that must be covered in a process in which meeting, thank you, Noelia, meeting has to flow. Start with a local politics, ignite events, etc., or is the meeting content up to us? Okay, I'm gonna let Lizzie and Eileen answer this first. Lizzie, Eileen, thoughts on Noelia's question around content for program meetings on campus?
That is such
Yeah.
a great question. But you can go, Lizzie.
Okay, well, hi, Noelia. So, Noelia is is starting a chapter, and so, which is very, very exciting. And so, one thing that we're rolling out, which we're super excited about, is some college resources on activities that you can do, with your chapter. Other chapters have, over the years developed, different pieces that they include. But yeah, like you said, talking about civic engagement, local politics, events that you're doing on your campus, those are all great things to include. And I think it'll be really helpful for you when we roll out the event planning guide as well as the college activity planner. Those will be helpful resources to look at and give you some more ideas. Eileen?
I mean, like Lizzie said, we do have a new college curriculum that we're rolling out, which is really just a good way to um, or it gives you ideas for how you want to do your next meeting, and just has a bunch of different ideas that you could run with, like hosting a debate watch party or hosting a different speaker at a different time. And a lot of the guide or not guidelines, suggestions you can find through that when we roll it out, that will be shared with you. And with everything else, I would just refer to the college chapter handbook, which is a really helpful tool for you as well.
I think too, Noelia, a lot of our I visited a lot of our college chapters across the country, and in terms of like meetings, some of them are like 60 minutes or 75 minutes, and they kind of have, business as usual up top where, some of our chapters even have to take attendance at the beginning, or they might be having people fill out those program enrollment forms. And then they kind of figure out one or two content areas that they're doing. So maybe it's a speaker, or maybe it's a conversation around feminism, which you can pull from the Ignite toolkit already. And then usually they just close with some level of like what's coming up next in terms of meetings or other events that are trying to get folks to. So I think all of them are going to look a little differently. And so in terms of like that kick off the year with tips of figuring out what you want your calendar to look like, will really help you in kind of thinking about what those content pieces will look like across a semester. But really in terms of like what each meeting will look, you guys, your chapter, you're going to figure out from your chapter if you're kind of a touchy feely group that likes to do roses and thorns, or if you're not a touchy feely group and you want to elicit some transition pieces, then that might be something that'll be helpful for your team as well. Other questions, ladies? We've got a couple more minutes on our deck, and so we just want to make sure we answer every question that you have. I'm happy that was a helpful answer. Can we make t-shirts? Who wants to answer that?
You
Nobody.
answer, Sarah.
So we have these fabulous Ignite t-shirts that we have like a very small population left of them. And so I know that some of you might have them and some of you may not. Um, and I will say that our college chapters, I've seen some of our college chapters make their own t-shirts. Um, so I think even if you go to that UC Davis Facebook page link that we sent you, the far left picture is actually their t-shirt. And so they designed you can make it real fun and have a design contest in your group. You will obviously get access to our logo, so you can utilize that. Um, and then your members pay for it depending on what your cost is, and you individually can source that out. And then in terms of like as an organization, we are actually turning 10 in 2 years. I don't know if folks are aware that we're going to reach a double-digit number and really and turn 10 as an organization. So we're also thinking about what our t-shirt designs are. And so we have some left in the office, which we're happy to get out to folks. Chapters are also welcome to create their own t-shirts and sell on your own. And uh, in addition to that, hopefully we'll get some more funding to be able to purchase more shirts for us to be able to give out as incentives. Kristen totally has a shirt for you. She's totally gonna get you one. And Angelic, are there any flyers that are acceptable to use that I can print out for our first meeting tomorrow? I made some. I don't think. Well, I don't totally want you to not use what you have, but send them to. Or Lizzie, you work with Angelica.
Mhm.
Let's send them to Lizzie and and we can take a quick peek at them, and then if I think they're probably going to be okay, but we'll also send these templates to all of you so that you can start to use them too, as options. Do not feel like a damn fool. Don't.
No.
None of us should feel that way. This is not a big deal. We're just trying to share information, or share resources. So, and we also are trying to alleviate our college chapter leaders because you all do so much, and we're trying really hard to not not make you do 10 hours more of work for Ignite each week. Lizzie is a goddess. We are very lucky to have her.
Thanks, Angelica.
Any other questions? My Fitbit keeps reminding me to walk, but it's so hot in the Bay Area. So sweaty, so sweaty. Okay, let's give them. I was a social worker once upon a time, and so silence was always my good waiting game. Um, any other questions? The quick recap, we've got a lot of goals that we're achieving this year. We're going to get you all on boards and commissions. We're running for office. We're organizing. We're doing lots of pieces. We're going to get everybody and their mother to fill out these program enrollment forms. I can't wait to buy hundreds of dollars worth of gift cards to celebrate all of you and to talk to my friend at Kinko's to make all of these Ignite signs to get those to all of you. And then, like I said, to close up, we'll get all of these social media pieces over to you all so that we can start to support you in this capacity. And please be patient with us. We know that our college programming has needed resources for some time, and we finally have staff to do it. And the woman behind all of this is actually not even on our lovely webinar right now. Um, but she is fabulous, and you're going to get lots of good stuff from her. So thank you for taking your time. Any last thoughts, Eileen, Whitney, or Lizzie, before we go?
It's been great getting to spend some time with y'all, and I'm excited for a great year.
Perfect. And I think we should end with our hashtag Team Goddess. That's pretty awesome. Thank you, everybody. We will talk to you soon, and we'll. I don't know how to send or how to make this a link, but I will have this link to you tomorrow. And then for folks that needed something today, I'll at least send the slides so that you all can see that. Awesome. Thank you so much. Have a good evening. Bye, everybody.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.